Most people don't realize they're in danger until it's already too late. The worst part is, nothing feels wrong at first, just a normal conversation, a normal person, until something small doesn't add up. These are three stranger encounters that started normal and ended in a way I still can't explain. Story 1. He knew where I lived. It was a normal evening. Nothing special. I'd stayed a bit late at the library finishing some work, and by the time I left, it was already dark. Not late, just that quiet part of the night where most people are already home. I remember checking my phone just after 9:30. The streets weren't empty, but they weren't busy either. Just the occasional car passing, a few people here and there. Normal. I decided to walk home like I usually do. It's about 15 minutes, straight road, then a turn into my area. I'd done it hundreds of times. I had my headphones in at first, but not playing anything, just wearing them out of habit. That way, I could still hear everything around me. About 5 minutes into the walk, I noticed someone behind me. Didn't think much of it. Just footsteps. Steady. Same pace as mine. I crossed the road. Partly because I needed to, partly just to see. The footsteps crossed too. That's when I actually turned my head slightly. Not fully. Just enough to catch a glimpse. A man. Maybe mid-30s. Dark jacket. Hands in his pockets. Walking calmly. Again, nothing obviously wrong. But something about it felt off. I don't know how to explain it properly. Just the way he was walking. Too steady. Too consistent. I kept going. Told myself I was overthinking. A minute later, I slowed down slightly. Just to test it. His footsteps slowed too. That's when my chest tightened a bit. Not panic. Just awareness. I took my phone out. Pretended to check something. Then stopped completely. The footsteps behind me stopped. I didn't turn around this time. I just stood there, looking at my phone, waiting. After a few seconds, the footsteps started again. I started walking again too. A bit faster now. So did he. At this point, I knew. This wasn't coincidence. I turned onto my road. This part was quieter. No shops. No street noise. Just houses. And long stretches of dim streetlights. The second I turned, something changed. His footsteps got closer. Not running, but faster. More direct. I could hear them clearly now. Right behind me. I didn't look back. I didn't want to. I just kept walking. Faster. Trying to act normal. Then, he spoke. Hey. My stomach dropped instantly. I didn't answer. Just kept walking. Hey, excuse me. Closer this time. I turned slightly. Just enough to acknowledge him. Yeah. He smiled. But it didn't feel right. Do you live around here? Such a simple question. But the way he said it, it felt wrong. I shook my head. No. He looked at me for a second, then nodded slowly. Right. We walked in silence for a few seconds, side by side now. Then he said something else. I've seen you before. My heart dropped. I didn't respond. You walk this way a lot. That's when I fully looked at him. His face was calm. Too calm. Like this was a normal conversation. I think you've got the wrong person, I said. He smiled again. No, I don't. We kept walking, and I realized something. We were getting closer to my house. I tried to slow down. Maybe let him walk ahead. He slowed down too. I tried speeding up. He matched it. It felt like I was stuck next to him. Then he said it. Which one's yours? I stopped walking. Completely. He took one more step forward, then turned to face me. I mean, which house? My chest felt tight, like I couldn't breathe properly. I told you I don't live here. He stared at me for a second, then nodded again. Right. Then he pointed. At my house. That one, right. I felt something drop in my stomach. I hadn't looked at my house. I hadn't reacted. Nothing. There was no way he could know. I stepped back slightly. How would you know that? He didn't answer straight away. Just smiled again. Then said quietly, because you always slow down here. Silence. I didn't know what to say. Didn't know what to do. He looked at the house again, then back at me. Anyway, I'll see you around. And just like that, he walked past me. Didn't look back. Didn't rush. Just walked. I stood there, frozen, watching him disappear down the street. I didn't go inside straight away. I couldn't. I waited, listened, made sure he was gone. Then I went inside, locked the door, every lock. I didn't sleep properly that night. Every small noise made me jump. Every car that passed made me look out the window. The next day, I told myself it was just a weird encounter. Nothing more. Until that evening, I was in my room, looking out the window, and I saw him, standing across the street, looking directly at my house, not moving, just watching. And when I realized, he smiled. Story 2, the man who knew my name. It started in the most normal place possible, a supermarket. It was around 8 p.m., not too late, just quiet enough that the place felt a bit empty. I'd gone in to grab a few things, milk, bread, some snacks, nothing big. I remember thinking how calm it felt. No long queues, no noise. Just the low hum of the fridges and the occasional trolley rolling across the floor. I grabbed a basket and started walking through the aisles. Didn't notice anything strange at first. It was when I got to the drink section that I saw him. He was standing near the end of the aisle. Not shopping, just standing there. At first, I thought he was just checking his phone or deciding what to get. But then I realized he wasn't looking at anything on the shelves. He was looking at me. I glanced away quickly. Didn't want to make it awkward. I grabbed what I needed and moved on. Told myself it was nothing. But as I turned into the next aisle, I saw him again. This time closer. Same thing. Just standing there, looking straight at me. No basket. No items. Nothing. That uneasy feeling started to creep in. Not panic. Just discomfort. I picked up my pace slightly. Went through a couple more aisles, grabbing things quicker than I normally would. Then I turned into the last aisle before the tills. And he was already there, standing at the end, waiting. That's when it stopped feeling like coincidence. I slowed down. Didn't go any further. He didn't move. Just stood there, watching me. I pretended to check something on the shelf, trying to act normal. But my mind was racing. Why was he always ahead of me? How did he know where I was going? I turned around and walked back the way I came. A few seconds later, I heard footsteps behind me. I didn't need to turn around. I already knew. I walked faster. So did he. I reached the tills and joined the shortest queue, trying to put some distance between us. Then I heard his voice, right behind me. Hey. I froze, slowly turned around. He was right there, closer than I expected. Up close, something felt even more off. His expression was calm. Too calm. Like this was normal. "Do you work here?" he asked. I blinked. "What? You look like you work here." I shook my head. "No." He nodded slowly, still staring. "Right." Then he smiled. "I've seen you before." My stomach tightened. I forced a small laugh. "I don't think so." He tilted his head slightly. "No, I definitely have." I turned back around. Didn't want to continue the conversation. The queue moved forward. I stepped up. Paid quickly. Didn't even check my change properly. I just wanted to leave. As I grabbed my bag, he leaned slightly closer and said quietly, "Have a safe walk home, my name." I froze. Completely. I hadn't told him my name. I turned around. He was already walking away. Like nothing had happened. I stood there for a second, trying to process it. Then I left. The walk home felt different. Every sound felt louder. Every shadow felt wrong. I kept looking behind me, half expecting him to be there. But he was. I got home, locked the door, checked every window, told myself it was just a coincidence. Maybe he heard my name somewhere. Maybe I dropped something with my name on it. Anything to make it make sense. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying it in my head. How did he know my name? The next day, I tried to forget about it. Told myself I was overthinking. Until the evening. I was in my room. Phone in my hand. Just scrolling. Then I got a notification. A message request. From an account with no profile picture. No posts. No followers. I opened it. There was only one message. "Did you get home safe?" My chest tightened instantly. I stared at the screen, trying to process it. Then another message came through. "Don't worry, I'm not far." I dropped my phone, ran to the window, and looked outside. At the end of my street, under the streetlight, he was standing there, looking up, right at my window, and smiling. Story 3, the car that wouldn't lift. It was supposed to be a quiet night. My parents had gone out for dinner, and my sister was staying over at a friend's place. I had the house to myself for a few hours. Nothing unusual. I'd been alone plenty of times before. It was around 10 p.m. when I noticed the car. At first, it didn't mean anything. Just a car parked across the street. Engine off. Lights off. Completely normal. I only really paid attention to it because I happened to look out the window while on my phone. I remember thinking it looked a bit out of place. Not because of the car itself, but because of where it was parked. It was directly across from my house. Facing it. I shrugged it off. Went back to my phone. About 15 minutes later, I got up to grab a drink. On my way back, I glanced out the window again. The car was still there. Same position. Same darkness. Still didn't think much of it. People park outside all the time. I went back upstairs. Put something on. Tried to relax. But something about it stayed in my mind. Around 10:40, I checked again. The car was still there. That's when it started to feel a bit strange. No lights. No movement. Just sitting there. I stood at the window for a few seconds, trying to see inside. Couldn't see anything. Too dark. I told myself I was overthinking. Closed the curtains. Went back to my room. But I couldn't focus anymore. That quiet feeling in the house. It felt different now. Heavier. After another 10 minutes, I checked again. I don't even know why. Just felt like I had to. I pulled the curtain slightly. Looked out. The car was still there. But this time, the interior light flicked on. Just for a second. Then off again. I froze. That meant someone was inside. My chest tightened. I stepped back from the window. Heart beating faster now. Why would someone just sit there? In the dark. For that long. I turned off my room light. Instinct. Then slowly went back to the window. Careful not to be seen. I looked again. Nothing. But I knew. Someone was in there. I went downstairs. Checked the front door. Locked. Back door. Locked. Then I turned off the downstairs lights too. The house went dark. I went back upstairs. Stayed near the window. Watching. Time passed. I don't know how long. The car didn't move. Then, the headlights turned on. Suddenly. Bright. Pointing directly at my house. I flinched. Stepped back. They stayed on for a few seconds. Then turned off again. Like a signal. My stomach dropped. I stepped away from the window completely. That's when I heard something. A faint sound. From downstairs. A soft, metallic click. I froze. Listened. Nothing. Then again. A quieter sound. From near the front door. My heart started racing. I moved slowly toward my bedroom door. Opened it slightly. The hallway was dark. Silent. I listened. Then, a soft rattle. The front door handle. Someone was trying it. Slowly. Carefully. I backed away immediately. Closed my door. Locked it. My hands were shaking now. I didn't know what to do. Call someone. Stay quiet. Then it stopped. The rattling. The noise. Everything. Silence. I waited. 1 minute. 2. Nothing. Then I heard footsteps. Outside. Moving away from the door. I ran to the window. Carefully. Looked out. The car was still there. But now, the driver's door was open. And then, I saw him. A figure walking back toward the car. He got in. The door shut. A few seconds later, the engine started. The car drove off. Slowly. Like nothing had happened. I didn't sleep that night. I stayed in my room. Lights off. Phone in my hand. Just listening. The next morning, I told myself it was over. Just a random person. Nothing more. Until I went downstairs and saw the front door. Still locked, but scratched. Right around the handle. Like someone had been trying to force it quietly. Testing it. Over and over again. I checked outside. On the driveway. There were marks. Tire marks. Facing the house. In the exact same position. As the night before. If even one of these felt a little too real, hit like so I know. And tell me which one stuck with you. I read every comment. If you want more stories like this, subscribe. Just don't watch the next one alone.